Smackdown.
Well, morning glory and hallelujah, everybody. It is the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to the second day of May, 2025. My name is Nick. I present to you Radio's Big J.
Hello.
Big J, happy Friday to you as well, and tell everyone that you love.
Yeah, man. You too.
Any big weekend plans for you on the agenda? You didn't get a weekend grade last week, so you had some making up to do?
Yeah, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah?
The lawn is in disrepair after a
not
week
great.
of not paying any attention to it.
I suppose that will happen from time to time. Do you have to do like the whole kit and caboodle, like not only mowing, but also like trimming and hedging and all that kind of
The
stuff?
whole thing, man.
Holy Jesus. How long does that take you to do? Front to back?
Probably a couple hours.
Okay.
For being honest.
Okay. So it's a 2-hour gig?
Yeah. I mean, I spread it out over 2 days.
So you make it worse on yourself.
No. I'll knock it out probably tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be like not as good as beautiful as today is going to be, but a pretty decent weekend, all things considered. So hopefully whatever plans you may have aren't impacted by the weather. Maybe you're going up to Bogus tomorrow, having yourself a good time.
May skiing, baby.
Outside of lawn work, is there any other agenda on
Sitting
the
on
Big
my
J plan?
duff, man.
All right.
Playing some Xbox.
Nice. Will that
Maybe
impact the
riding some
grade, you think?
motorcycle. I don't give a damn.
That's not true. You know
Listen,
you do.
Sure, but if I do my outside yard work, I don't care about the rest.
You need some Big J time, where the wife's
That's
not
right.
always bop, bop, bop in your ear,
God,
right?
And she's been on vacation this whole time.
So she's
it's a
got
lot
something
of
to
bop,
talk
bop,
to you
bop.
anyway.
Not that, but just it's a lot.
Well, I'll take your word for it. She seems like a nice lady, but
She's great. What are you talking about?
We'll take your word for it. On top of that, today we have a full agenda on the docket for the show. Number 1, Big J's got your song of the week for you. That's going to happen. Number 2, we're definitely going to go to hell. Number 3, we are going to visit with one of the many people that are going to be visiting the Comedy Lounge this weekend. Steve Goody is going to be joining us via phone. He has got a big show tomorrow night at the Comedy Lounge. We're going to learn all about that. We also have some headlines on the show. We got some tickets to Nothing More. That's a sold-out show in just a couple of days at the Knitting Factory Concert House. On top of that, some important stuff and all sorts of cool things. So it should be a good Friday show. Let's kick it off with one of Big J's favorite things, Metallica. Nothing Else Matters on the morning after with Nick and Big J on the X.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
If I may, Big J, can I just tell people to, hey, be careful out there, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit crazy, but you're familiar with the Perine Bridge, I imagine, out there at Twin Falls, right?
Sure. Yeah.
That's the big old bridge that spans the width of the Snake River Canyon, okay?
Yeah.
Well, somebody got injured yesterday afternoon trying to base jump off of that bridge. Paramedics had to respond to the scene at the bottom of the Snake River Canyon after receiving a rescue call. Apparently, the base jumper had serious injuries, but they were not life-threatening, but they had to launch a boat from Centennial Park to reach the injured person in the Snake River Canyon. Then they had to transport him to St. Luke's for treatment. Apparently, I did not know this, but did you know there's like 3 locations in the United States where you can base jump year-round without a permit, and that bridge is one of them.
Yes, I did know that.
And so it is a very popular destination for people that enjoy base jumping. In fact, probably if you've driven over the bridge a couple of times, you've seen somebody jump off it. They are usually base jumpers, and so that was the case. Don't know exactly what happened. Police aren't saying if like the chute didn't open or something else didn't happen, or maybe it was too windy and got blown into something. They don't really know, or they know, but they're not saying what happened. But a reminder that if you're a base jumper, just be very careful. Make sure the conditions are okay, and you check your equipment so that, you don't get down to the bottom and something terrible happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is a reminder to make sure you check and double check everything before you do it. But hey, listen, if you can do it, base jump your life up. Have some fun. Base jumping ever anything that you're interested in, Big J?
A little bit.
Really?
I don't.
Let's say I don't think you don't mind heights, but I don't think you like.
I don't want to drive over the damn thing.
Right. So not really then. I can't
No,
imagine you
God.
ever base jump.
Yeah, no.
Did you ever zip line?
Yeah, I've been on a couple of zip lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
No.
Okay.
No. Not really.
Fair enough.
It was a team building thing.
Yes, I believe we've probably ridden the same zip line, to be perfectly honest. Big J, believe it or not, entering the playoffs, more money had been wagered on the Los Angeles Lakers to win the finals than any other team. They thought maybe after the finals or after the playoffs started to come, the powerhouses that are LeBron James and Luka Doncic playing together would team up and lead the Lakers to a wonderful title. Well, that did not happen. They were bounced out of the playoffs in the first round by a lower seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it really wasn't even that close. I mean, they lost 4-1. So the Lakers are now making their offseason vacation plans. The bettors are licking their wounds, and the sports books are laughing all the way to the bank. And so just a reminder, sometimes you got to pay attention to some things. And they really weren't playing that well heading into the playoffs either. And so something to keep in mind as you are going forward if you are somebody that wagers on a regular basis. Don't bet with your heart all the time. Sometimes you got to bet with your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Starting to learn a little bit more about the second season of Netflix's Wednesday. Here's what we do know. Anthony Michael Hall is going to pop up in the show, Big J.
Look out, man.
He is going to reunite with director Tim Burton. Of course, he was in one other Tim Burton movie. Can you name it, Big J? Do you remember Anthony Michael Hall popping up in a Tim Burton movie?
Edward Scissorhands.
That's right. Jenna Ortega is, of course, still back for season number 2. We know that the season 2 is going to be streaming soon on Netflix, but we now know that she's going to have another mystery to unravel at her boarding school, Big J. And we'll see if she can get the job done. My guess is she will. She'll figure it out by the end of season 2. I'm going to go on a limb and say whatever mystery that they have to give us will be resolved by the end of season 2.
Generally, that's what happens.
I'm just saying.
Shows.
Not all the time, but I think on Wednesday it will be. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff for the first time this morning. It is the X-Rocks. Here's Beck. That is Loser here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, this is a kind of a big tentpole question, but are you a believer in karma? What goes around comes around?
Yeah, I think I do, man.
Okay.
So I try to be a good person.
Okay, then you'll be very interested specifically in that particular sentence. With the double standard that karma is involved in, at least if you believe the researchers at the University of Toronto who have spent the last 5 years talking about karma.
I don't believe them already.
You don't?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know.
But they
Most
say
research is flawed.
that people interpret karma differently. More specifically, when asked about karma, usually somebody, when they attribute them to themselves, they tend to think of it in a positive example, like you just stated. Like, I try to be a good person so that good things happen to me, right?
Well, or at least so bad things don't happen.
Right. But that is a positive interpretation of karma, I think. Especially when you involve yourself into it. But the funny thing that they have noticed, when they talked to 92% of the people in the study, they found out when they talk about karma and somebody else, it's a negative kind of connotation. Like, when you're talking about karma and somebody else's, you're like, oh, you know what? That's karma. That's what that dude gets for being a jerk. Mm-hmm. And that's how it goes. So that's the double standard involved with karma. When karma, it's you doing good things so that good things happen to you. When you talk about somebody else, it's like, you know what? That's just that coming back around for that dude. You don't usually speak about
because
karma.
People don't usually talk about how they screwed up or were a jerk.
No, but you also don't go, good things are happening to that person. That's karma. You know what I mean? It is a weird kind of connotation that we use it positively for ourselves and negatively overall for other people. Of course, it depends on the culture, too. They found that Americans tended to see karmic events as rewards for their own good behavior and negative for other people. In other countries, karma has pretty deep religious roots. So, like the double standard in India, where karma is a very big belief in the Buddhist culture, does not have that same double standard as it does here in America. So a lot of people in the world interpret their life events as caused by some sort of repercussions of karma, of their past behavior, usually positive for themselves and negative for others, in an interesting thing. And I guess I'm just as guilty of it. I don't think about it that way either, or I guess I wasn't cognizant of it. But now that I see it pointed out, I'm like, yeah, I guess I can see that being done for sure.
Because people don't like pointing out how they screwed up. So they're not going to look at it. When you screw up and you do something wrong, you're not going to perceive that as... Most people don't look at themselves in that way.
Sure.
That's why that perception is there.
Well, but you also don't look at somebody... I guess, how come we don't look at somebody else's positive things as positive karma?
Well, you have to give an example.
Well, I'm just saying 92% is negative. That's a pretty overwhelming number of how we kind of push negative karma on other people, just not on ourselves. It's a double standard. It's the exact definition of it.
I don't know. Maybe when somebody wins a lottery, that's a karma bonus.
Yeah, but we don't say it that way. There's a lot of maybes in there, but we never actually go, oh, that person must be a really good person. That's why they've won the lottery.
Yeah, but a lot of times I think the story is like somebody does something bad happens to them because they've done something wrong. You have that complete story. But generally, you don't have the complete story of when something good happens to somebody. You don't know the good deed that they did to get there.
No, I understand. I'm just
So
saying
it's in the perception of how we look at karma.
that you're exactly saying what I am talking about. We are talking about the perception and the double standard that karma.
But see, I don't see it as a double standard unless you talk about the negative side of a story of your own self.
Well, because you don't see yourself in a negative light. That's the double standard.
Well, generally people don't, but you don't. But you should, though.
Okay, I mean
I'm
that's
saying
fine.
You have to
but
point out. You have to go look at the times when you're like, man, why is bad stuff happening to me? That's when you have to go back and be like, man, what did I do?
I agree, but people don't do that, I guess, is the point.
Okay.
And so we tend to forget the bad things that we do and don't look at those bad things that are happening as some sort of karma. We look like we're down on our luck or bad things are happening to us for no reason. But when good things happen, you're like, yeah, man, see, that's why I do good things. And so whenever we invoke karma, it's in that particular frame, I guess. You know what I mean? We can invoke karma at any particular point. We just happen to invoke that word, positive sides for us, negative sides for others. And details or whatever the case may be, that word only comes out of our mouth in those particular cases. And that's an interesting thing about the psychology of people, I think, more than anything else. I don't know if it's about details. I just think that's the way that we are wired to think. Good things happen to us because we're good people. Bad things happen to other people because they were a jerk to us once at the grocery store or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's just the way that we spin that particular word in our culture. In other places, it's not quite that way, but it is interesting the way we invoke that word in particular situations, for sure. Maybe it'll make you think twice about things. Maybe now you'll think that person that won the lottery is, in fact, a good person, even if they did be a jerk to you in the grocery store. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your karma update. We got the song of the week next, courtesy of Big J on the X Rocks.
Here's traffic inside the TDS Fiber.
And a Stone Temple Pilots sex type thing here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Every single Friday, Big J selects a song to get the blood flowing for the weekend. First, you find out the what, then you find out the why. What do you got for us today, Big J?
How about some Airbourne with Live It Up?
Feels good to me. Here comes Big J's song of the week on the X Rocks. That is Big J's song of the week, Live It Up by Airbourne. What you picking that song for, Big J?
That song should be your theme song for life. No, as we at the beginning of this week, we sent somebody to Sonic Temple, Dakota, and man, let me tell you what. So the first time we get a chance to see this band live, we're broadcasting, we're doing the interviews in the tent, all that stuff out at Rock on the Range, now called Sonic Temple. And they're playing at a stage that's almost directly kind of like kitty corner from where we are. We come out, and Joel Keefe is on stage, the lead singer, and he's got nearly a full bottle. I mean, it's a big bottle of Jack Daniels. And he just takes a couple swigs of that, and he's enjoying himself. And we see a couple songs to the set, and then we have to go back into our business. And the band comes around to do interviews, and that bottle is nearly empty, but he still has it with him. And it's just like, dude, this is rock and roll. This is what I signed up for when I did all this crazy stuff, because it was fun to witness that. And it's one of those bands that haunts me that we could never get them in. Tried so many times to even just to get a regular show, not just a free show.
Have we tried harder for any other band other than Airbourne? I don't think we have.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think so. Yeah,
we tried so hard. Some things just can't happen. Yeah, we've tried because one thing that we know is that like the audience that listens to the X would absolutely love this band
They'll
live.
Lose their minds.
They're so much fun, and we just have never had a chance. We've tried, but the routing, and they're from Australia, and they don't get to the States all that much, and so it becomes really difficult to get them through to get into a market like Boise. And God, we have tried. And now they're like on like little teeny tiny record label, which makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, they're all over Europe this summer.
Right.
So.
And so they're just, if you get a chance to see Airbourne, take that chance. You will not be sorry. I know sometimes people hear them and go, oh, they sound just like AC/DC. I don't know how that became a bad thing, number one.
Yeah, how was that bad?
It's so much fun to see that band live. And they're having fun as well, and you can tell. It's what rock music is supposed to be about. I think they absolutely impersonate it. Good pick, Big J. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got your important stuff. It's next on the X Rocks. Well, Big J, it's not exactly the best thing in the world, but people are taking advantage of it. According to a recent Lending Tree survey, 25% of Americans are opting in to the buy now, pay later services for groceries and food.
Oh, do not do it.
This is up almost 14% from last year, Big J, when only 11% of Americans are doing it. 41% have paid back their loan late over the past year. That's also a problem. It is pretty clear that over the last calendar year, people are really struggling with economic uncertainty. The prices aren't going down. Inflation continues to go up. And so people are looking at things like short-term loans and obviously paying as you go for things that you go right to, DoorDash or other places that get you where you want to go and get you the stuff immediately, and then you don't have to worry about it until later. Now, of course, this is something that's fairly new, or at least the readily availableness of it is fairly new. DoorDash and Uber Eats recently announced partnership with particular lending places to let customers split up food order payments, and people are taking advantage of it. And I know sometimes you don't have a choice, which I understand, but if you do, I implore you not to do this.
But food delivery is the most expensive choice. Like, no matter what you're doing, it's always going to be more expensive than even going out to it. And I realize, gas and all that kind of stuff, but seriously, a trip to the store versus a food delivery of something is dramatically different.
We're paying for the convenience. I think we've hit an all-time highness in sloth and laziness. And so it's like, I've worked all day. I don't want to go to the store. Just give me food delivered to my house, please.
I think Clint Eastwood's character in Unforgiven said it best. We all got it coming. I mean, if we're going to act like that and that's the choices we make, then we deserve to get our asses kicked a little bit.
Yeah, and it's happening. I mean, we are. But, there are certainly some other circumstances that would benefit you if you did that. But listen, for a very long time, we've taken the path of least resistance. It's happened probably multiple times over the last 40 years. We are a society of least resistance. And so that's the way to go. The problem is we don't understand how expensive that path can be. And again, I cannot stress you enough. I'm always reminded of the time when I was in a situation where I wasn't making a lot of money, but I really wanted a VCR. And I was like, I'll just do the rent to own. I can afford $11 a week. I can do that. That is something that makes sense to me and fits in my budget. And I can have that VCR now. And then when it's over, I'm like, I paid almost $1,000 for that VCR. I'm a moron.
VCRs you've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Just an absolute idiot. It should just save up money for 3 weeks, and I would have had one.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're thinking when you're in that situation. And sometimes you have to be burned in that way before you learn that lesson, because it is something that I will never forget. And that's a reason why I don't do the rent to pay option anymore, or the spreading out stuff over payments. It's just like, if I can't afford it now, do I really need it? It becomes a question that I always ask myself. And the answer usually is no. Is it something I'd like to have? Yes. Do I need it? No. And so I'll wait until I can, But not everybody can do. You can't do that with food. It's a different thing. Yeah. I understand what people are going through, but it is certainly a topic.
But it's hard for me to be sympathetic when you're ordering food delivery.
Sometimes it's grocery deliveries, to be fair.
I mean, sure, but even that is like, it's more expensive than it needs to be for what the situation calls for.
Yeah. But yeah, I understand what you're saying as well. But that's just it's the days that we live in. Big J, some series wrapped up on the ice and on the hardcourt last night. The Knicks beat the Pistons 116-113. That wraps up their series. They win in 4-2. Clippers beat Denver. That's going to go to a Game 7, my friend. And then on the ice, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, you heard that right. The Maple Leafs got out of the first round. They beat the Ottawa Senators 4-2 and won that series 4-2. Vegas Knights moving on as well after beating Minnesota last night. They win that series 4-2. Edmonton moving on after knocking off the Kings 6-4 last night, winning that series 4-2. And Colorado Dallas heading to a 9th game after the Avalanche beat the Stars last night on the ice 7-4.
Do you have a hockey team you root for in the pros?
As I was growing up, I was a Maple Leafs fan. I have since I moved so far away from Wisconsin, because Wisconsin didn't have a team at the time. Minnesota didn't even have a team. And not that I would cheer for a Minnesota team anyway, but There were the Milwaukee Admirals growing up, which is the equivalent of the Steelheads as a minor league hockey team. But because Toronto was about as close as I could get, that was the team that I felt some allegiance towards. I have some Maple Leafs gear and stuff, but I have fallen off from a team that for a while there, I was a pretty big Coyotes fan living in Phoenix there for a while. I would go to a bunch of games,
that makes
but
sense.
they were never really that good, so it was hard to really get into. But the Roenick Tkachuk years were a lot of fun, even though they also didn't really do a lot in the playoffs. But I could say that I definitely was a Coyotes fan for a while, but that hasn't transferred over now that they're in Utah by any stretch of the imagination. So no, I just cheer for good teams and good games. I think it's fun. I watch playoff hockey, but there's no team I'm super, super into by any stretch. Big J, we did it. We have come absolutely 100% full circle. Streaming platforms once, of course, were the place that you would go because you didn't want to watch commercials on your TV. You were tired of having all of these channels when you only wanted 2 or 3. So we went to streaming. But now streamers rely on ad-supported income. And according to Nielsen, Big J, in the first quarter of 2025, streaming service platforms now officially air more commercials than cable or broadcast television. We did it, dude. We absolutely went completely full circle. 100. We wanted to get away from the commercials. We paid a premium to do so, and now they're airing more commercials. If you're watching the ad kind of tiered versions of like Hulu or Netflix or Amazon or whatever, you're getting more commercials than you would over broadcast television. So congratulations. It makes up about 42% of ad-supported TV use on the streaming side of things, and that translates to about 30% of total TV consumption.
I know this is going to be a crazy, wild thing to say, Nick, but I prefer the old listen, watching standard television, whether it be on broadcast or even satellite, I would prefer to watch those commercial packages versus the streaming ones.
They switch it up.
Yeah, at least they make sense, and they're not just like back to back the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's going to sound crazy. I think we've come to a point where actually, once again, cable and or satellite TV might be the more affordable choice.
I'm this close to convincing the wife for the next year that we, go like, even if it's just Hulu Live or something, a live service of TV versus all these other things that we have, so that at least I can enjoy sports in a normal fashion and not have to chase it down and figure out where to go and what to do.
Yeah, it's crazy. We wanted this, and then it blew up in our face, and now it's somehow worse than it was before, which is bonkers to think about. Unless, of course, you can pay a premium not to get those commercials.
Yeah, if you're rich.
But like that's almost twice it would cost for a cable.
Yeah, think about this, especially if you had more than one, like if it's Paramount Plus maybe, and then Peacock, and then throw in there Netflix. That's probably $100 right there, ad free.
Yeah, it is. And that doesn't include, Hulu or Amazon Prime or the other ones that are out there, which, of course, you need to get your Reacher fix, Big J. Yeah. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. It is the X Rocks. Big J, a nightmare scenario for today's We're Going to Hell story. Now, it could definitely be worse, but, let's pretend for just half a second, Big J, you park your car outside, okay?
Okay, I do.
And let's say you get up to go to work, you walk outside, and your vehicle is gone.
No!
Right? That would suck, wouldn't it?
That would be, especially if it's nice.
If your vehicle's nice?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your vehicle. But yes. Whatever the case may be, listen, if once you had a car and now it is gone, automatically bad day.
Yep.
It just absolutely sucks. And that's what happened to you and Valentine. He walked out of his house one day to go to work, and he realized, son of a bitch, my 9-year-old Honda Civic Type R is gone.
No.
And I absolutely love this car, man. I babied it like crazy, and it is toast. So he calls the insurance company. The police are looking into it. They can't find anything. After about 6 weeks, it is deemed a total loss. They don't have any leads. They don't have anything. It's gone. It hasn't shown up. So the insurance company pays him out the full amount. And Ewan is like, man, it sucks. But I really enjoyed that car. So he started looking around for other makes and models that were kind of like his. And he found a listing on like YouTube, on Craigslist for a vehicle that was the same make and model of his, but 3 years older, okay? So he goes to the private buyer and he looks around and he really likes it and he thinks it kind of reminds him of his old car. So he throws down about $23,000 for this car. Okay.
Oof.
And he starts driving around, and a couple of days, he's like, man, this thing is just, I really, really like this car. And as he starts to kind of look around after a day or so, he's like, man, there's a lot of things that remind me of my old car.
Are you telling me it took him this long to realize that's his car?
Well, hang on. So he's looking around, and he started noticing, like, man, it kind of smells like my old car, but it can't be. I mean, it's 2 years older, and the VIN number doesn't match. So there's just no way that it's my car. And then he opens up the trunk and he's like, man, there are pine needles in the trunk, just like from the Christmas tree that I lugged around this Christmas. I mean, I'm starting to think this is and he double checks the VIN number. And it's like, no, it doesn't match with my number, but he still can't shake the feeling. So he goes to the police and he's like, hey, listen, this is going to sound crazy, but this reminds me of my vehicle. I mean, I know it's a different color. I know it says it's a couple years older. I know the VIN numbers don't match, but can somebody take a look at this thing just to kind of prove that I'm not crazy, that this is, in fact, my car? Or if it's not, at least give my mind a little bit of a rest.
The cops say, shut up, Nancy. Get away from us.
And so they're like, I guess, okay. And they look it over, and it turns out, Big J, sure enough, it looked like to the police that the VIN number had been tampered with, and it looked like it was switched out. And so they started to do some research, and they double-checked things, and the VIN number, the actual VIN number doesn't match with something, and they find out the car is 3 years older. It was, in fact, Ewan's older car that he had purchased almost 2 months later from a private buyer on Craigslist.
Well, great, he got his car back.
The cops go to the Craigslist guy, and they're like, hey, bro, what's going on? You're selling stolen goods. And he's like, I'm sorry, I bought this off a lot. And like, let's send him down a whole rabbit hole of other things. It doesn't look like, at least from the outside looking in, that the guy that sold the car on Craigslist did anything wrong. I think he got kind of bamboozled as well. And whoever originally got it from the lot traded it in for something. And so, it led him down this whole road of craziness. But essentially what ended up happening was this guy did pay about $23,000 to get his car back. It was a different color, and it had a different VIN number, but it turned out to be Ewan's exact car just 2 months later, kind of gone through a couple of changes, but it all kind of checks out, and the police are still trying to track down what exactly happened. They're not sure they'll ever get to the original thieves, but I guess
that seems pretty damn sophisticated.
It does. It does. I mean, I guess, you don't want to be known that you're selling stolen goods, so you switch out a VIN number. That makes sense. Throwing a Mako paint job on a car probably throws them back about $250. And so you get, I don't know, they probably traded it in for $16,000, and that's what you get when you put it in the vehicle. And then, of course, it goes through several different other buyers, and they bounce it up a little bit. But I don't know if this is a sustainable theft ring, but it certainly is an interesting one.
Sounds like it is.
And the guy got his car back, so I guess he's happy too. But he had to do all the dirty work, Big J, and that's not great. So
that's not dirty work.
Keep an eye out for it.
That's. I wonder how long it was from when his car went stolen to him getting his new one.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
So they chopped it up, painted it, did all this stuff, and the VIN number in 6 weeks.
Well, I don't think they chopped up anything.
And then somebody bought a car from a delership and then turned around and sold it right away.
Yes.
Man.
Yes. There were a lot.
There's a lot of fishiness going on.
From what the police figured out, this car was sold 3 additional times before it got to him in that amount of time.
In 6 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
It seems like a laundering
what
thing
city
almost.
Is this?
It's in.
Stay out of that city.
Sahuli, West Midlands, Texas. So somewhere around that particular area.
A giant metropolis.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I don't know. All I'm telling you is what the police reports are saying. So it is an interesting situation.
Working in shifts on it.
And there's no leads either. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X-Rocks. Alice in Chains, Man in the Box here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, how good are you at spotting people that are liars?
Probably not very good.
Why do you think that is? Is there any reason? You don't care that much?
No, I don't know. I mean, I guess I try to believe the best in people.
Is that what it is?
I'm not looking to tear everybody's statements apart right away.
You like to believe people or take people at their word. And then now, is it one of those things where once they cross that line, then they're forever a liar to you and they're banished into that particular category?
I mean, let's talk about our friend Ian.
Okay.
Is it the kind of lying we're talking about? The harmless, like, hey, I'm messing with you, but then it turns into a thing where you can never believe anything the man says.
Yeah, well, Ian's the man who cried wolf. I mean, eventually you just, like, nothing that comes out of his mouth is something.
And he continues to lie.
Yes.
Like, he continues to make stuff up. And so, yeah, I just really don't take anything he says with a grain of salt, unfortunately.
More along the lines where, like, it's an honest conversation and you're trying to pick up whether or not you're getting an honest response from somebody or they're lying to you about something that you would consider to be important.
Definitely not a skill that I have.
Okay.
I wish I did.
Well,
like that one show on TV.
Which one? Lie to Me?
Yes.
That's been off the air for 10 years? Yeah, that one. But there are people that are experts, much like Tim Roth's character in Lie to Me, that specialize in being able to identify the actual giveaways and tactics of liars. And they say there are a couple of words that you need to watch out for when you're asking somebody serious questions and they're trying to talk to you about a situation that pretty much is a dead giveaway that they're lying. And they say whenever somebody deals in extremes. So when the words never or always come out of their mouth, then that is something that you need to put up a little bit of a flag and go, really? Okay, then there's got to be something going on there. Like if somebody says, hey, would you do that? And they go, I would never do that. And then all of a sudden you have to think, okay, that's an interesting choice of words. Just say no or whatever, but never seems like a bit of an extreme, and that's something to keep in mind. Like, do you text when you drive? No, I never text when I drive. Well, come on. At some point, somebody is always texting their drive.
Would you ever get an iPhone?
Sure. I can imagine. I almost did the last time. Oh, yes. No, you did. The Big J nevers are definitely on this line.
Listen, I lasted a really long time this time,
it's
okay?
True. But Big J would never get an iPhone. He would never join Facebook. He would never join Twitter. There was a lot of nevers in Big J's life.
Now I stop myself when I say never because I'm like, oh, we know this isn't true.
Right. There's no never say never. It's a famous James Bond movie. It's something to keep in mind.
It's not a famous James Bond movie.
Never say never again?
No, I mean, it's never say never, but it's not very famous.
Okay, well, I mean, it is a James Bond movie, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
it is.
On top of that, the always side of things is another thing that you need to keep an eye on for. Now, not every time somebody says this, especially when they're talking in generalities, is it something that you go, they're lying about it. But if they're trying to get themselves out of a situation or they're answering a question that you think serious, it's just something that you should keep in mind. Extremes are something that that people that are experts in identifying liars, it's like a flag for them where they go, okay, this is something I need to pay a little bit extra attention to. So maybe now your lie detection skills are a little bit higher, Big J. Courtesy of the Diary of a CEO podcast.
Yeah,
That's where this stuff came on. Yeah. Something to keep in mind. Maybe stop using those words and nobody will label you a liar.
I'll never stop using those words.
Okay. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We always do important stuff in Pop Culture Smackdown in the 8 o'clock hour. They're next on the X. Stop me when you've seen this caption, Big J, on a picture posted on social media. A friend you know with their dog or cat, and the caption reads, who rescued who, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yep.
Really. You go to the Humane Society or the animal shelter and you pick out an animal and it turns out it's them who brings joy and love into your life, makes you learn how to live again and truly turn things around and improve your mental health. Isn't that what rescuing's all about?
Yeah.
And it turns out, Big J, about 56% of dog and cat owners say they feel like they've been rescued more than once by their furry friends. Big J, you're a pet owner. Do you feel rescued by any of your animals?
Sure.
I'm not buying it. You took too long to answer that question.
No, I don't feel that way.
But 34% of pet owners say that having their animals around certainly helps improve their mental health, and it works on a daily basis. How about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
95% of pet owners say that their pet improves their mental health on a daily basis. Respondents say that a pet makes them feel needed or offers support by always being there for them, even when they're having a terrible day. Of course, dogs and cats can sometimes be your biggest cheerleaders, and no matter what kind of day you're having, it's nice to have that particular support in your corner. And so don't be surprised if you feel that way about your animal, regardless of what kind of pet that it is. In fact, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why we get animals and to have pets is to help us feel loved unconditionally and have, something that is always there for you and cares just as much for you as you do for it, correct?
Yeah.
So
They also can be really annoying.
Yes.
Like, God, Ladybird, she's still in that puppy phase. I'm like, when is this? How long is this going to go? Always got to be into something, going in and out of the house. And it's like, and then she's a whiner. She starts whining.
Yes, no, it's well documented that you're not a fan of Lady Bird
No,
on this
I
show.
love her, but she just is annoying as hell.
And isn't that the ones you love the most?
I guess.
I mean, isn't that the secret to the show?
Whoa, what?
Big J, the post-game confrontation between Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis and, of course, the father of Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton earlier this week, it resulted in some consequences.
Good.
Of course, the dad has already issued an apology to both Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks for the way that he behaved, but he also is taking a step back and will not attend any Pacers home or road games for the foreseeable future.
Ooh.
Of course, the underlying thing that makes this a little bit more of an interesting situation is Tyrese and his father, both from Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Big J, they grew up in Wisconsin. The Milwaukee Bucks are a Wisconsin basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of the hometown team, there's a lot of bad blood between the superstar player for the Pacers and the family of him, as well as the team that they probably watched growing up. So it is interesting what is going on, but it certainly seemed like
Well,
the
it's not
dad
Tyrese's fault.
No, it's not.
But here's the thing. His dad was a referee.
Yes.
So he knows he shouldn't have been doing that.
Right.
And, his apology's fine. And anybody else other than Antetokounmpo might have, just swung at the dude.
Yeah,
That was the thing they got lucky with.
And the reason why, it boiled over in game number 6, lots of reasons. That series was chippy all the way around, and Tyrese and Giannis had gotten into it a bunch, and then, the Pacers won that game, eliminated the Bucks, and that's when the dad decided to get in the face of Giannis after the game, like, oh, talking all that smack, you can't even win a series.
On the court right after, wearing a shirt that had Tyrese's picture on it.
And face to face, heads leaning
Yeah.
on each other, talking
Yeah.
smack kind of stuff. That could have got ugly and quick. But yeah, there is certainly a line you should not cross. And so he's not going to be coming to games for any time soon. Hey, speaking of games, Big J, Rockstar Games is in the news. They released a statement this morning saying that they are delaying the highly anticipated release of Grand Theft Auto 6. It is now not going to come out until May 26th, 2026. Now, the game had originally been planned to be released in the fall of 2025, but Rockstar Games now says the team needs extra time, quote, to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. Now, here's a crazy thing when it comes to the GTA timeline. Do you remember when that trailer dropped for that game?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was December of 2023 is when we got the first look at GTA 6. They have not released another trailer since then, and really they've been pretty much radio silent about anything other than saying fall 2025 is when this stuff is supposed to be coming out. But now, of course, they are pushing it till May of next year.
No one believed that was going to happen.
This is true.
So it's not a huge surprise. But the fact that they put a date on it, though, is a pretty big deal because they could have just said, this is getting moved to 2026. I think they knew that they better put a date on it and maybe give us a little something here pretty soon. Or, dude, the GTA people out there in social media are just beside themselves all the time.
Yeah. No.
They're a constant thing.
It is a toxic fan base, as most things can be from time to time. But we do know that GTA 6 is going to take place in Vice City again. We do know it's going to feature the first female protagonist, and it's going to kind of have Bonnie and Clyde story elements to it. But that's really the extent of it, other than the trailer that we saw now almost 2 years ago, which is crazy to think about. But we now have a date, but it ain't going to be as soon as you thought it was going to be. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We got your Pop Culture Smackdown. It's happening next on the X Rocks.
Pop Culture Smackdown. On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yes. Pop Culture Smackdown time, friends. And we have ourselves some tickets next Tuesday at the Knitting Factory. Sold out show, man. Nothing more. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to get you set up with these tickets. We're also going to get you qualified for some VIP meet and greet action with the band before the show. You just got to beat Nick in Pop Culture Smackdown today, featuring birthday boy Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, hey, guess what? It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson time. 208-287-1003. This should be an easy victory for you.
What?
For Pop Culture Smackdown.
I know nothing about The Rock.
I mean, I know some things, but I'm
Come on,
guessing
jabroni.
you're going to have to guess. You're going to give me some character name questions, and I'm going to trip up. I can promise you. But best of luck to everybody. Hello, the X.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, man? What's your name?
This is Jimmy.
All right, Jimmy, you're taking on me. Good luck.
Jimmy, before becoming a blockbuster superstar, Dwayne Johnson was a superstar in what sport?
Wrestling.
Yeah, it's true.
Would you have accepted football as the University of Miami defensive
okay,
line?
well, that's the answer to this next question. Good
Great.
job. Before becoming a WWE superstar, he was a defensive end on a full-ride scholarship to what college, Nick?
University of Miami.
Shut up over there and let me ask the questions. All right. Playing the character of Luke Hobbs in this big-time movie franchise catapulted The Rock's fame. What franchise was Luke Hobbs a part of?
Can you repeat the question?
Playing the character of Luke Hobbs in this big-time movie franchise catapulted The Rock's fame. What franchise is that?
I can't even think of it, man. I got nothing. Shit. Sorry.
Wrong. Don't swear, please.
Yeah.
Hello,
Don't
the
be
X.
poopy.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Hi, here's Big J with your question.
Hey, playing the character of Luke Hobbs in this big-time movie franchise catapulted The Rock's fame. What was it called?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I'm in my car.
Yeah.
I know that's bad.
Playing the character of Luke Hobbs in this big-time movie franchise catapulted The Rock's fame. What was the franchise?
Oh my gosh. Luke Cobb?
Yeah, Luke Hobbs.
Did a spin-off movie and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think back in the day.
You don't have to think back too far.
I was
Yeah.
huge. It's not the Black Ad. No.
No, that's when the hierarchy in the DC universe changed.
Take
But
it easy over
I
here.
know. I know. I'm like, I'm not going to get this, guys, which makes me so sad.
I'm sad, too.
It's okay. We think you're great anyway. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. More importantly, thank you for not swearing. Hello, the X.
Hello.
Hey, man, here comes Big J with your question.
Playing the character of Luke Hobbs in this big-time movie franchise catapulted The Rock's fame. What franchise was it?
Fast and the Furious.
There we go. Right. Yes, indeed. Nick, Dwayne Johnson set a Guinness World Record for the highest salary for a first-time leading actor. Which movie earned him this record, his first feature film?
Well, wasn't his first lead in a feature film?
Yes.
Okay. Well, does it count as the Scorpion King? Because that was his first one, but was he paid a ridiculous amount of money to be in it?
$5.5 million.
Yeah, I'll say the Scorpion King.
Yeah, Scorpion King is right. How many times has The Rock won the WWE World Championship during his wrestling career? Was it 10 times, never, or just 5 times?
5 times.
5 times?
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Good guess, though. It was one of the options for sure.
One of the options.
Hello, the X.
Morning.
Good morning. Hey, how many times has The Rock won the WWE World Championship during his wrestling career? Is it 10 times, never, or 5 times?
Can you repeat that?
Repeat it.
I mean,
turn down your radio, please.
Yeah, it'd be easier if you turned off your radio and then you could hear the question properly. All right. How many times has The Rock won the WWE Championship during his wrestling career? Was it 10 times, never, or 5 times?
Josh. I'm leaning towards 10.
But what is your answer?
10.
Yep, that's it. Right. Correct. Nick, on which TV sitcom did Dwayne the Rock Johnson make his screen acting debut on TV, portraying his father, Rocky Johnson? Was it Young Rock, That 70s Show, or Ballers?
Huh. Well, I mean, I don't think it's Young Rock. And Ballers he played a different character altogether. I'm gonna say it was That 70s Show.
That's correct. Right. For what role did The Rock claim he was changing the hierarchy of the DC universe? Was it Black Adam, Luke Hobbs, or Spencer?
Black Adam.
Black Adam is correct. All right, Nick. If you get this answer right, you have run the gamut. What is the name of Dwayne Johnson's popular tequila brand?
I will not know that one. No, I don't know. I will say, nope, I don't know. I'm wrong.
It is Terramana tequila.
Terramana. Yeah. Good job, man. Congratulations. You have won Nothing More tickets, and you are going to meet possibly the band. You're qualified for the VIP. Hang on 1 second. We'll get some information from you. There's your Pop Culture Smackdown. Up next, a funny comedian named Steve Goody going to be playing at the Comedy Lounge tomorrow night. We're going to get him on the horn next on the X Rocks.
With Nick and Big J.
Headlines are as follows, Big J. Corporate drama, money time, or coming soon.
Corporate drama.
Can I interest you in a little bit of corporate drama wrapped up in a sex scandal, Big J?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, please.
You ever heard of a company called Kohl's?
Yeah.
Well, they have let go of their new CEO, Ashley Buchanan, because of a highly unusual business deal they say she was doing with a romantic partner. According to a recently released report, the company said Buchanan directed the department store chain to engage in vendor transactions that involved undisclosed conflict of interest. The conflict involved Chandra Holt, who met Buchanan as a colleague at Walmart years ago. Holt is the founder of Incredibrew, a coffee brand. And she says that she's known Ashley for 10 years, but haven't received any compensation for my Incredibrew business from Kohl's. But Kohl's disagreed. So now we got a CEO that's out of a gig and somebody that's trying to defend their brand. Big J, which side of the Kohl's war do you end up on?
First of all, this seems like the least, egregious thing a CEO could do to, get ousted.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Unless there was, some money under the table going that wasn't reported.
Even still, some of these guys are almost unfireable. So
yeah, too big to fail, pal.
Yeah, crazy. I don't care.
No,
it won't problem.
Will it impact the money that you spend at Kohl's?
I don't spend any money at
How
Kohl's.
about the money you spend on Incredibrew?
I've never heard of it until now.
You're welcome. Money time or coming soon?
Money time.
Crews in Texas had to work for hours to clean up $800,000 worth of dimes that fell onto U.S. Highway 287 on Tuesday. The coins are being transported in an 18-wheeler that overturned in Wise County at 5:30 a.m. It took over 12 hours to pick up the 8 million dimes that fell over and reopen the road. The driver and passenger sustained non-life-threatening injuries. It's still unclear why the truck was carrying millions upon millions of dimes. Apparently, it wasn't part of the job or where they came from. I don't know.
Hell of a dime bag.
Now, we talked earlier this week about what you would do if you found a bag of cash on your street. Would you even bother to bend over to pick up any kind of dimes if they fell out?
No.
Okay. So coins not worth your time, because this is almost 15 times the amount of money that has fallen on the street. Still not worth your time?
It's even worse. It's even less worth it. I mean, what are you going to do with all those dimes?
You go right to the Coinstar, pal. Dump them in. And
or
see
just
what you got.
Get some papers and roll them. Don't take the charge from Coinstar.
You can do that as well. You can do that as well.
But that's dime. That many dimes would be pretty heavy.
I mean, 800,000 is a lot. I'm not saying you'd be able to grab them all, but you grab yourself a grocery bag, you'd probably get a couple $100 worth, maybe even 1,000 if you do, right?
That's true.
But that takes a lot of effort and a lot more time, and the more time you're there, Big G,
I
the more
wonder
likely
how
you
they
get caught.
picked all those up. Did they have like magnets and stuff like that? Or?
I'm guessing you shovel and take like a front end loader or something like that to get the big bulk of it, because it's 8 million dimes. So you need a lot to pick that up, and then you probably, once you get down to the last few hundred, and they're all in a flat line on the ground, you got to bend your ass over and pick them up with your hands, man. It's the only way to go. Wrap it up with coming soon. A group of scientists in the UK are working to create purses and totes made of T-Rex skin. The prehistoric hide would be grown in and from the fossilized remains of one of Earth's scariest creatures, but they are unlocking the potential to engineer leather from prehistoric species, including the T-Rex, according to the company Lab Grown Leather. The collagen that results in the project is likely to resemble the hide of a cow, but that's what they're able to do. Do you think the missus will be interested in a T-Rex purse?
No, but The Rock might be. Happy birthday. Here's your T-Rex wallet.
Let's put some skin on that skull. Let's go. And let's see what you got, The Rock. Morning After with Nick and Big J. there are your headlines. You're up to date on everything. We got your bad impressions. They're happening next on the X Rocks.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Yep, and we have got a nice prize here for you for Bad Impressions. Tickets to Nothing More. Show is sold out at the Knitting Factory next Tuesday. We'll get you a last opportunity to be qualified for VIP meet and greet with the band. All this yours if you figure out Bad Impressions today. Should be easy, actually, and fun.
Our phone number is 208-287-1003. If you like to play Bad Impressions, it works like this. Big J has 3 clues. They all revolve around somebody pretty famous. If you can figure out who that famous person is in those 3 clues or less, it is you that is going to the Nothing More Sold Out show on Tuesday at the Knitting Factory, and you are going to have a good time. At least we hope so. And Big J said it's fun and easy. So will it live up to both those things?
Yeah.
We'll find out together. Hello, the X.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, you're up first. Who's this?
Casey.
All right, Casey, you're up first. Good luck.
Yeah, I guess I'm back.
Oh, next.
Whoa! I know Kung Fu.
One more.
Brody, I'm an FBI agent.
What was that last one?
I'm sorry, what?
She wanted to
What
hear
was
the
that
last clue
last
again.
Brody, I'm an FBI agent in Johnny, Utah.
Keanu Reeves.
Nailed
Yeah.
it. It's Keanu Reeves. Hang on one second. We got Nothing More tickets coming your way.
Nick.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the Continental?
I guess.
Yeah, of course. I think at this point now, I feel like John Wick has eclipsed Neo
Oh, for sure.
in his character, and a new a documentary is coming out called "Wick is Pain," about John Wick and about the movie franchise and how Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski, their combination kind of helped make this work, and how the movie almost didn't get made. In the middle of it, lots of problems were happening, money, all kinds of things. Whether or not it was going to be wise to, have a dog die in this movie, kind of thing. All of that. I just saw the trailer for it. It looks really cool. So that is something that I can't wait for. It comes out May 9th. It's up for pre-order. It'll be out and about everywhere you can buy it. I don't know if it's going to be streaming free anywhere right away, but that's the plan anyways. But, when we went to Vegas here over the weekend, we went to the John Wick experience. We didn't do it's really an escape room kind of thing. We didn't do that part. You have to get tickets ahead of time, but also weren't sure what exactly that entailed.
Yeah, it's kind of top secret, and it's also very expensive. And it's like, are we going to throw down $200 for something we're not sure we're going to enjoy?
And I was totally geeked to go in because they have the bar set up like Continental. It's much smaller than I thought it would be. And also the gift shop, which is touted on the website. I was like, oh, cool. There'll be a lot of cool stuff in there. There wasn't much at all.
It was a gift shop for the John Wick experience and not necessarily John Wick in general.
Yeah, and but we saw people coming out from it, and it didn't look like they
It did not
were
look
really
like they were
excited.
having fun. Yes.
We did have a fun experience with an actor. They had actors there who were a comedian guy who sat down and told some jokes, and that was interesting. But, I think you can pass on the Wick experience there in
Well, we
in
can't
Vegas.
really say for sure because we didn't do it. So it's hard to say I didn't have a good time and I wouldn't spend money when we didn't actually do it ourselves. If you're going to go just for a drink at the Continental or go for the gift shop, I would say you can probably pass on that. But if you do want to do the experience, you can.
Whoa.
Because we didn't do it. We could have. I think if it was just you and me, we probably would have. But I think because our significant others were there, that doubled the price, and we're like, do we really want to do this? And will they even have fun in this scenario?
Plus the cocktails, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive.
They are. But it's okay. We had a fun time. I didn't mind dropping a C note on some drinks. It was a good time.
God, you should not have offered that.
Morning at, well, I didn't know
I
at the
didn't even
time.
want a drink.
I didn't even know at the time. Morning
Pick the most
after
expensive one.
with Nick and Big J. You might have. There's your bad impressions. We wrap up the show here next on the X Rocks.
Ready to roll? Golden West Credit Union can help you drive off in the perfect car, truck, or SUV with an auto loan as low as 5.24% APR. Whether you're shopping new or used, you can hit the road knowing you got a sweet deal. Just ask for Golden West financing when you're at the dealership or apply online in minutes at gwcu.org. Get the rate you want with the service you'll love. Golden West Credit Union.
We'll take care of you.
Injured? At Park Gordon, we don't back down to big insurance companies. While others give in, we fight harder for every dollar you deserve. We never quit on your case. Call Park Gordon today at 32-CRASH. You can beat Goliath.
Tate's Rents has been serving their communities with industry-leading rental solutions.
Lincoln Park up from the bottom, wrapping up the morning after with Nick and Big J for this particular Friday and this week as well. Thank you all for hanging out. Special thank you to Sam, for our friend Steve Goody, for stopping by and talking about his beautiful show that's going to be happening tomorrow night at the Comedy Lounge. Grab your tickets at loungeboise.com. That will be fun. Told you to be on the lookout for your own stolen car because sometimes they can't find it and you find it by accident. And we even got a chance for you to enjoy some Airbourne today. That is a solid Friday show if ever I heard one. And Big J, we do have one more point of order before we wrap things up, huh?
Yeah. Well, I already chose all the winners. There's 5 of them.
I understand, but you can say who they are.
Oh, I deleted that thing out. Okay, yeah. John, Dustin, Nick, Thomas, and Jackie.
We have been giving away tickets to go check out Nothing More. Those are the 5 people that will get an opportunity to meet the band before the show, VIP style, just for listening to the morning after. Not a bad way to go. I guess that leaves you with the floor then, Big J.
Yeah, Morning After the Movies podcast is up. Season 9, Episode 6, The Thunderbolts.
We saw Thunderbolts yesterday, and we recorded a podcast about it, and now you can check it out at your leisure. Is it officially up, or will it be up later today?
No, it's up and away.
Beautiful. So you can check it out wherever podcasts are available. Click the like and subscribe button so that you never miss a single episode. And once again, it's split into 2 parts. The first part is completely spoiler-free, where we give you just our original thoughts on the actual film in case you haven't seen it or you're on the fence, or you want to think about hear what we think about it before you go see it. And then the second part of the podcast, we get into all the spoilers, which of course play a much bigger role in these Marvel movies than in anything else. But you won't hear any spoilers from us for the first part of that podcast.
Yeah.
That's the way we decide to go. And that means that you can listen to the podcast twice, quite frankly, and we'd recommend that you do. Once before you see the movie and then once after you see the movie.
Or 6 times.
And that gives us 2 clicks, which makes us look better. All those things. Everybody wins.
Click it!
When you do stuff like that. That is it for us. You guys have a fantastic weekend. We will see you on Monday. It is the X Rocks.
It's the peak.